Championship football in Rome, Georgia. Learn more right after this.
Cracked up.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg,
Doc.
how you doing? Oh. All right, now, we're doing a football show.
Correct.
And we're doing a show about some local champions.
Correct.
But really, and it's, you know, I have to take total blame for this, but as this story was developing, I was totally out of the loop. And you did a poor job of informing me about it.
Okay.
Okay. So I feel like I'm playing catch up here a little bit. I've actually found out how well these teams were doing from students out in Georgia Highlands who were telling me about it. They were talking about it.
Yeah. Well, the middle school has done a phenomenal job of developing a program, almost really a feeder program for the high school. And under Coach Charles Smith tutelage, I mean, they are really developing a true program, a powerhouse program.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So Coach Smith will be one of our guests and two of the players. So stay with us. We're going to hear all about this story right after this when we come back. Stay tuned.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're very happy to have with us today Coach Charles Smith and Aiden Gaines. Welcome.
Glad to be here.
All right, now this is a dramatic story, and I wanna start a little back a piece.
So what you're really saying is,
I don't know anything.
catch him up.
Yeah, catch me up.
Catch him up.
How long have you been working with the middle school teams?
Well, I had like a 20-year stint with the program. I was the middle school coach several years ago for 5 years. I started with the varsity, the high school, and we wanted to get the middle school program in line, so I went down and took the head position several years ago, and coached for 5 years, was very successful. And at that time, my son, Torian, had signed play football at the University of Notre Dame. So after that, I stopped coaching because I wanted to follow his career. And then I kind of got back in it when Coach Perkins became the head coach. You know, he called me in and asked me would I be interested in coming back. I came back and coached junior varsity for a year. And after that, the league came up with this rule that we had to have a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade team in the middle school league to be in the GMSAA league, which is a very powerful and big league. At that time, we had no 6th grade team. So Coach Perkins asked me would I coach a 6th grade team. Really wasn't excited about it at the time, but after talking to my wife, I went on and decided to do it. We was very successful, and then the next year I took over the whole program, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And that's how we got here.
Well, 3 different teams.
Correct.
That's kind of hard to manage.
That's a commitment.
Yeah.
That's a hard commitment. But Charles, but not only 3 teams. But do y'all? Is it 3 different practices? Do you practice the same, or is it totally like 3 different programs?
Well, we have the 7th and 8th graders on campus at the middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So they come out and practice right after school. We get on the field about 4:15 to 4:30. They go to 6:30. Then we bring the elementary kids in, the 6th grade kids in, 6:30, somewhere in that time frame, and practice them till 8:30, something and 9 sometimes. So it's a long afternoon.
Mm.
And when does this start? The very beginning or before the school year even? When does this?
Well, we start in February.
Oh.
Yeah, we start with a workout program in February. We have a spring practice where we play a spring game.
Mm-hmm.
We take another break. Then we start up in the summer. We do workouts. We usually go to a college camp in the summer. And then we start practice in the fall at the end of July. And we do that because in order to compete in this league, and not only to compete in this league, but to teach kids how to really be a student athlete, it's not just a 3-month job. It's a year-round commitment. And you have to do more than just come to football practice and practice to be good, to be great, to be a champion. You have to put that extra work in.
So, Aiden, this has been a big year. And have you been involved in football how many years?
I think I've been involved in football I think this is my 5th year now. And before I played in rec, and but I'd go to Darlington, but Coach Smith wanted me to play here, and I thought it'd be fun, so came and played this year, and the championship's how it turned out.
So you got drafted. Is that
Now, are you that good, Aiden? Are you?
Well,
He's pretty good, Coach.
No, because, rec league is, when I was just listening to Coach Charles talk about the commitment, that's not rec league. That's a serious program. And so how have you been able to adjust to that, meaning the long practice and also maintain the grades? Because I know for you, grades are very important as well. So how's that been for you, that whole student athlete kind of concept?
I've been doing pretty good in my grades. My average is a 94 or 84.4. And I'm trying to bring it up to the 90 before the end of the semester. So I've been working really hard before our exams. And this year I've had to step it up with Coach, because normally we just do, as he said, a 3-month deal. And but I like the extra work that we get to put in.
So this is your first year with Coach Smith?
Yes, sir.
It was an experience, what?
A big experience.
Yeah, Coach Smith can be a little intense at times, I know. But are you able to see the fruits of your labor by working so hard, what it has translated into, what it has become?
Yes, sir, because my dad, he's always been telling me for years that work will pay off, and this is the first year that I've seen work pay off in something like this.
Okay.
And do you see it as beneficial to your grades to be part of an athletic team and program like this? Does that help you? Does it keep you motivated with your grades, or does it just make it more challenging?
It's time consuming, but I love doing it. And to me, like my grades and football are 2 different things, and I got to keep both of them up. But in order for one to work, I got to do the other, because I know a couple years from now when I keep going up in football. Like in high school, if you don't keep your grades up, you don't play.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to keep good grades a habit.
That's good. I like to hear that.
Now, Charles, I know for you, student athlete is really that concept you really preach. It's, you really expect your students to do well and go on and be able to go to college and play at big schools. Do you find dealing with parents that sometimes parents don't understand what it takes to be, not only to have student athletes, but have a winning program of student athletes? Do you find that as a challenge working with a lot of the parents?
Yeah, it's a challenge. The two guys that we got sitting here today that's going to be on the show, these kids are successful ultimately because of what their parents do at home. Academics is very important to us. I don't let them play if they're not doing good in school. I punish them. Academics is very, very, very high. This is not a deal where we just getting a bunch of kids in here trying to win football games. What we want to do is create a system. We want to create a way of doing things that not only works in football, but it works in life. If you work hard, you pay a price, you commit, you set goals, you work toward those goals, and along the way, if there are some stumbles, you work your way out of that, which is what you have to do in football and life. So if you take that perspective of it and apply it to all aspects of your life, then you'll be successful in everything. And it's very demanding, and everybody can't do it. And as far as the parents, having coached being a parent of an athlete, being an athlete myself, I see it from everybody's angle. But one thing that I always tell parents is I try to treat every kid the same. And not only that, you want to create an environment where it's a family, where people like each other. And when kids know that everybody's the same and you get what you earn, they respect that. And our kids love playing football for us, even though it's hard and it's demanding. And the parents, I don't worry about them because I know I'm doing the right thing. There's going to always be somebody upset that don't understand something. But when you're a coach of a program and you got 118 kids, you can't worry about just one. You have to worry about what's best for everybody. And in that course, sometimes somebody may get left out or it doesn't happen. So, but we care about these kids and we care about their families.
So all three teams did spectacularly. And I understood they all three won region.
Yes.
How soon in the year did you realize you had three teams with potential like that? Or
well, I met these kids last winter, and the first thing that we talk about is winning a championship. We don't say we coming out here to have fun. We don't say we want to be average. We say we want to win a state championship. So after I found out their name and we started talking about football, that's what we talk about. The fact that we had been here for 2 years prior, we knew our 8th grade team was really good because they had won the region, had played for the state championship last year and lost. So we knew we had a good 8th grade team coming back. Our 7th grade team, our 6th grade team last year was one game from the state finals. So we knew they were pretty good, okay? And our 6th grade team, when we saw these kids and how big this offensive line was, and then to have a back with the skill that Nicholas Berg had, you thought you could be pretty good. And that 6th grade team was a very mature team. These kids, they act a lot older than what they are. And you knew that you could be pretty good. You just really knew that you could be. But you still got to play the games, and you still got to make it happen. And it's a grind. It's a long season. But to the credit of the kids, we was able to be very, very successful.
Well, we're coming up on a break here in just a second. Aiden, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Hershey.
So we're going to be hearing great things from you next year too, I'm sure. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
If you're looking for a new pet that your family will cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are the best places to find a new pet. That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals, eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been having a conversation with Coach Charles Smith, and we've been joined by Nicholas Berg. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. You got to laugh on this show now. We ain't going to hit nobody today.
I hear you're all business, Mr. Berg. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can tell that. So help me out here. Which of these teams did you play on this year?
I played for the 6th grade team.
And what was that experience like for you?
Intense and very exciting.
Do you feel that this is just a beginning of of your career?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I can tell. This is very serious.
Now, let's be honest, Charles. Now, I know Mr. Nicholas has an older brother who's been playing football and playing sports, great athlete. Now, he's a running back, correct?
Yes, sir.
Does he have any skills? Is he really that good? Because I hear a lot about him. About Nick, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a tremendous power, and he's got top end speed, which is a dangerous combination. But what really makes him a great player is his leadership ability. He just came in from day one and kind of took over as the leader of the team. He holds his teammates accountable. He won't settle for less, and he's very serious out there. I don't know if I've ever coached anybody with that kind of leadership ability at this age. And that's what makes him good. It's a lot of people that can run. It's a lot of people that's strong. But can you get other people to play better than they normally would play? And he does that.
Now, my folks, I'm serious about academics, and me and you have had a lot of conversations. I have a really big problem with a lot of athletic programs because I feel like they get a lot out of students, but they really don't do what I feel the complete package in preparing kids for college. And this is one thing I admire about you is that since I've known you, you've always been about the student athlete. And so with kids this young in the 6th grade, how do you create that for students that young that you got to get those grades, because usually at this age they're just playing for fun, right, not realizing that sports and grades do come together.
Well, when I meet a kid or a family, I tell them about my history, what I was able to accomplish as an athlete, what my kids was able to accomplish. I know how to get it done. And I think when you show a resume of having done it, and people believe in what you say. And once again, no matter what I do, these 2 kids that's been here today, the parental support and guidance is top of the line. These parents demand good grades. These parents demand that their kids do what they're supposed to do. They demand that they be respectful. They demand that they show up on time, that they do all the little things. So when they come to me, it's just a reinforcement of what is already a part of their lives. Now, on the other hand, all our kids don't have that. And that's where it comes in, at where you have to kind of be creative and work with them and just guide them and be patient. We've had a couple of kids this year that you might have would have thought they wouldn't have made it through the season, but they bought in. Eventually they buy in. because we're going to do it one way. And after a while, they figure out that if they're going to stay, then they're going to have to do it that way.
So, Nicholas, you're serious about your grades too, huh?
Yes, sir.
And are you having any difficulty juggling the athletic part of your life and grades too, or are you able to make it all work?
I can make it all work, but I have to set a time, like set aside one thing to do another thing.
What grade are you in?
6th grade.
We can get some of these college students we work with. To get
Yeah, that's a skill they
Yeah.
all have not. Yeah. But you, if I understand right, your practice has been in the evening.
Yes, sir.
So you don't get through, you do your schoolwork before practice?
Yes, sir.
Because, gosh, by the end of practice, you must be exhausted.
Yes, sir.
I would think. That's
It's
a
time to go
long
home
day.
and go to bed.
That's a long
Yeah.
day. But you're obviously making it work, and you're apparently a natural leader. Have you always been a leader? Is this something that has come out in football?
Well, I don't really know because this is my first year playing football, and then Coach Charles, he has let me come out and just take over the team as a whole.
Let me ask you this: Do you find being in the 6th grade and then you have a 7th and 8th grade, is that kind of motivation for you, that you send the students and you see how well the program is doing and you see how some of the other guys are performing? Does that motivate you even as a 6th grader that I want to be like the 7th and 8th grade?
Yes, sir.
You smiling on that one. The reason I asked that, Doc, because it can be competitive at 6th and 7th and 8th grade, but at the same time, you won't, it's basic fundamentals. No one is getting paid. We're not talking $1 million contracts. But sometimes I see students get too committed, or they are just so tied up in winning, but not the process of getting there. And it can be disturbing sometimes because, winning is a process. It's a process to get there. And, to see that 7th and 8th grade has already been established and to be hungry to be, to go forward. I'm glad to see that in such a young man. I'm glad to see that in your program, though. I mean, because a lot of people speak very, very highly of the program itself. And so that's a great job.
So it sounds to me, I mean, I know you're talking about your goal is to win championships. And it sounds like all 3 of your teams came pretty close to that.
Yes.
But really, you're about winning more than championships.
Definitely.
You're about the academics. You're about staying right in school.
Character
Development. I mean, it's winning in a multitude of ways.
Definitely.
It's winning in life is what you're about.
Exactly. If a kid comes out and he plays for us, and I have a lot of talk with educators all the time. You have talked a lot. A lot of times, you have to find whatever it takes to get a kid to do whatever he needs to do, academically, at home or whatever it is. And sometimes this great game of football is the only reason kids will do their schoolwork. Mm-hmm. It's the only thing to hold over their head. Some kids. Yeah. It's very important to me. And a lot of people may say, some people look at it like, well, all he want to do is win football games, And that's not the fact. One thing I'm proud to say about our middle school, the grades for our 7th and 8th graders was higher than they've ever been this year. And it's at the end of the day, it's about discipline. It's about discipline. If they got structure and discipline in their lives, then it'll carry over to everything. But if you're gonna work this hard and do what we do, you might as well try to be the best.
Bill Russell had a quote. He said, "The game is on the schedule. We have to play it. Therefore, we might as well win." You're not going out there to lose,
right?
But you want to win with something much bigger than that. And I guess that's why I'm so excited about the program, Charles, is that because for me, I want 6th, 7th, 8th grade to win the state championship. But I also want to see this young man 7 years later being eligible to play at a big school if he has the physical ability.
Definitely.
I don't want him to have the physical ability but don't have the grades, the test scores. And see, to me, that's where I think we sometimes fall short. You know, if he has the ability, it's not the coach's job, let's be honest. As a coach, it's not your job to get a kid ready for college.
Right.
It's your job to coach football.
Right.
No, the parents really have a part to play in that. But I like the way you say, no, it may not be my job to make sure he's taking all this test or whatever, but I'm going to take it on anyway.
Exactly.
That we going to make this part of our program. And that's what I'm excited about, because I expect to see him and Mr. Gaines, years later playing at some school, not just saying my best days was in high school.
Right.
And so that's what I'm excited about. Right. And you do know that, right? We expect that of you.
You know, and maybe this is an attitude of the past, but I know that the reputation of athletes, high school athletes, I don't know about middle school, but high school athletes is not necessarily academic strength. But it seems to me that your mission is to create a culture of success in the classroom and on the field, so that when people think of the athletes, they think of the best students at the school.
You know, and being an ex-athlete myself, and you know, being with my kids growing up, that is something that has always bothered me, because there are a lot of athletes that do good work. There are a lot of athletes that do community work. There's a lot of good kids. You know, I know where I played at the University of Georgia, and when I was in school, there were regular students getting arrested every night. You know, all kind of stuff was going on. But if one of us got arrested, our picture would be on ESPN. Mm-hmm. You just hear about the negative side of athletes. Mm-hmm. We got some great kids in our program, and that's a stigma that I'm definitely trying to get rid of. And I want, you know, there's going to be issues and problems everywhere, but the thing that I want people to know is, hey, whatever this kid may not have, you know, sometimes we're judged by economics. You know, whatever this kid does not have, he has a good heart and he wants to make something out of himself. And let's look at him for who he is and not label him because he's an athlete automatically dumb or a troublemaker. Mm-hmm. I can't stand that.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a lot to change that.
I'm trying.
Well, we have to take another quick break, but we will be back. Stay with us.
Packers. Vikings. Packers. Vikings. Packers.
Red state. Blue state. Vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live
our families,
united.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been talking with Coach Charles Smith, Aiden Gaines, and Nicholas Berg about winning on the field and in the classroom. Coach, if folks want to get in touch with you about this, get their kids involved, what do they do?
They can call me at 706-506-2738 or Coach Franco Perkins at Rome High School, and we'll give you the information.
Great. Thank you all so much. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you next time on Community Watch.